Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So again, this is a transfer daily, as we always do, keeping you up to date of what players, Manchester United of course are linked with, because obviously, we do need a massive overhaul this summer, of course. Obviously, as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy, and he wants to buy young players, and he wants to recommend young players coming that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars. So potentially any signings we do make this summer, obviously we've got to fit the culture and the history of the club, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history, and you can see the deficiencies in the squad. You can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking. So potentially, we do need a right back, we need two central defenders, we do need three new additions in that midfield, of course. We definitely need a winner, and we do need a striker, of course, because it's obviously looking now imminent that Lukaku is going to be leaving the club. But like I did say, we're going to get a spending spree this summer of around £250 million. Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club. He's blatantly made this clear, and we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. But like I said, all the players that we do want to leave Manchester United this summer, obviously it's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to address this problem in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows to kill address that problem. And I think another problem with Manchester United, we have been letting far too many players their contracts run down. Obviously, Rashford's in the final year of his deal. Obviously, we do know that Juan Mata's coming to an end of his contract, and he's one of the players that's likely to leave Manchester United. Obviously, De Gea's in the final year of his deal as well. We've let Ander Herrera, of course, go on a free transfer. That was bad business from Manchester United. But, what we're going to be like with our recruitment this summer, we're going to be sensible with our recruitment, we're going to be mad with our recruitment, because I have heard quite a few people say, maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because we are all aware that these are quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. But like I did say, we're cashing for Lukaku, we're cashing for Pogba and that, we're cashing for De Gea. Obviously that's going to take our spending spree to around £500 million this summer. And like I said, it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. But I do believe £250 million will be enough to get us around 5 players. Of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say towards the back end of the season, he still believes that Manchester United can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. So as I said, he's worked out his transfer strategy. He wants to bring young players in. He's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club, and Solskjaer has blatantly made this clear. I don't think many Manchester United fans want Solskjaer out yet. I'm not going to prejudge him, of course. We've got to give him the summer to spend and then see what happens going on into next season. Don't get me wrong, if this bad vein of form continues going on into next season, I will be critical of him, and I will want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, even though I do love him very, very much, because he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. But like I said, we haven't got the structure, of course, to keep sacking managers. But as I said, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. He's still in the process of rebuilding. We do know Manchester United have been playing catch-up for the last 5 or 6 years. We do basically know that a lot of money has been invested into the club in the last 5 or 6 years. I think like £700 million has been spent. We've had different managers, of course, with different philosophies, but none of this squad, of course, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It has all gone down. It had all gone downhill, since he has got the job permanently. I don't know why, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, we'll go through this video now, as I've been updating you regularly, what players are linked to Manchester United. And I want to ask you, do you think, I would like to ask you, do you think, they'd be the right players for Manchester United? Do you think they'd fit the Manchester United agenda? So what we do know is for almost certain now about Daniel James. Now it's looking likely, obviously, he's going to be Manchester United's first signing this summer. So are you happy about this? Obviously, I think the stories broke out about this earlier on in the month, saying that Manchester United were close to agreeing around a £15 million deal for Daniel James. Now, potentially, I think the move could be delayed for a short period of time. Obviously, based on, Daniel James' father passing away. Obviously, this made Daniel James, withdraw from the Wales camp. So I do hope the best, for Daniel James. Obviously, because his dad passed away. So now this could delay the move for the short period of time. But if I'm right, I think an initial fee has been agreed. I think the fee's around £15 million. So that is actually a reasonable figure, of course, because like I said, it's not always about spending big on players. It's not always about, getting the Galactico players, as I said, because Manchester United have got a history of spending a big on players, of course, especially in recent seasons, as I said. But Daniel James, he's a low expectation, he's a cheap acquisition, and to be fair, he is a surprise solution, is Daniel James, of course, but £15 million is very, very cheap. As we all currently know, Brighton, of course, came in at the final hurdle for Daniel James, but I think from Daniel James's perspective, his preferred destination, of course, is Manchester United. Obviously, Leeds United have inquired about his services. Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, but obviously this didn't materialise because Swansea had pulled out of the deal right at the final hurdle. Obviously, Everton, of course, had inquired about Daniel James' services, but like I said, his preferred destination is Manchester United. So the question is, has Daniel James got the ability? Has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level? Daniel James, can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League? He's only 21 years of age. He's a Wales international. He has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. You mainly do see the best of Daniel James on that left wing, and he's primarily a winner. He can play as an attacking midfielder, but he's primarily a winner. He could actually rotate him to the right, but he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. Only got a year left on his deal with Swansea. I think he's played about 30-odd games this season for Swansea as Daniel James. But his move to Manchester United now is imminent, of course. Nothing's been fully finalised as yet, but potentially, his move to Manchester United is very, very imminent, of course. So we need to give him time and space of what's, just basically, happened to his current father. But yeah, Daniel James said only got a year left on his deal with Swansea, but I have got some reservations about him. He's not really, really good in the air. He's not really good at tracking back as Daniel James, but in terms of attacking intent, he looks good. He's really, really fast on the ball. He can score goals, can Daniel James, and I hope he can deliver the goods to Manchester United. So are you lot who are Manchester United fans happy, with Daniel James, coming out to the club? And I know he's a low expectation, and he's definitely a surprise solution, but we've got to give Daniel James the opportunity, and of course with him coming to the Premier League, it's definitely not going to take his career to the next level. But it did say, from my knowledge, Manchester United were in talks with Swansea about it, about Daniel James even more, but I do believe the initial fee of around £15 million has been agreed. So yeah, that's very, very cheap indeed. Now, another potential Manchester United target I want to give you an update on. I think I updated you about this on my previous video today. Is Youri Tielemans from Leicester. Now, reports the reports emerging out of the media yesterday saying that reportedly Manchester United have been in negotiations with Youri Tielemans' agent over the potential summer transfer. Now, potentially, I think he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, as Youri Tielemans, and I think Tottenham have been linked to him, and I think the media also said that Tottenham have been in negotiations with his agent. It also said that Manchester City have now entered the race for Youri Tielemans, and they've been in negotiations with his representatives, because I think Pep Guardiola is a big admirer of the player. Now, Youri Tielemans, of course, is on loan at Leicester at the moment, so he's had like 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and he's done really, really well since he's gone on loan with Leicester. I think he's primarily a central midfielder, is Youri Tielemans, primarily I think a central midfielder, but very, very good indeed. He can score goals, he can provide. He's only had 22 years of age. He's Youri Tielemans. I think from Youri Tielemans' perspective, I think he did blatantly make it clear he is expected to return to Monaco at the end of his loan spell with Leicester. But I think Leicester have been in negotiations with Monaco, because I think Leicester are keen on getting Youri Tielemans on a permanent deal. But there has been a lot of talk about that going on about Youri Tielemans. I think it did say a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal had also showed their interest in Youri Tielemans. So would you be happy, with Youri Tielemans, coming to Manchester United? I think, from my perspective, I think Youri Tielemans, would be a great addition in our midfield, of course, because that's definitely one of the priority areas where Manchester United, of course, have got to strengthen up, and I think Youri Tielemans, would definitely, be the right solution. Now, potentially, I think Manchester United, do need a centre defensive midfield, and we've been linked with quite a few defensive midfielders, of course, because obviously, we've got the likes of, obviously, Fellaini left back in January, obviously, we've got Nemanja Matic, but like I said, Nemanja Matic isn't reliable enough. He's too inconsistent, he's too slow, too ineffective in that midfield, and of course, his aging up is Nemanja Matic. So I do believe we need a centre defensive midfielder. So Thomas Partey, his name's been mentioned at least in the last 5 or 6 days. I've been reading up a lot about this Thomas Partey, and I think we definitely need a centre defensive midfielder, like I said, because Matic isn't good enough. Obviously, we have got the likes of Scott McTominay, but he's inexperienced at the moment, is McTominay, so we definitely need a centre defensive midfielder. But do you believe that Thomas Partey, would be the right solution for Manchester United? Now, to be quite fair, I don't really know much about Thomas Partey. I know he's got a release clause of around £43 million in his contract with Atletico Madrid. I think Manchester United have inquired about his services. I think also Arsenal have inquired about his services. I think he has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. He is 25 years of age. If I'm right, I think he's, I can't remember his height. I can't remember his height, to be quite honest with you, but he is primarily a central defensive midfielder. I think he's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023, so he is available for a reasonable figure. Is this Thomas Partey, but like I said, he is a central defensive midfielder. So would you like him, to come to Manchester United, Thomas Partey? As well, another centre defensive midfielder that Manchester United, of course, have been interested in is obviously, Declan Rice from West Ham now. There were talks about Declan Rice a while back, and I like Declan Rice a lot. He's only 20 years of age, got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, of course, British. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's emphasised an interest in quite a few British players. And Declan Rice is definitely, the upcoming future, of course. I think he's done really, really well with West Ham. He's exceeded expectation levels with West Ham really, really well. He's well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League, did Declan Rice. But reports came out a while back saying that he could be available for around £50 million this summer, could Declan Rice. So we'd probably have to put a bid in the excess of around £50 million, if West Ham were willing to let him go. He has got a contract with West Ham till 2024. I think he signed this in December of last year. But I think he's primarily a holding midfielder, but he can also play him as a centre-back, Declan Rice. So he's been potentially, linked with a move to Manchester United. But I definitely, love Declan Rice to come in. He initially began his career with Chelsea as a youngster. He joined their youth academy at the age of 7. He was in their youth setup for a number of years, and then I think he actually got axed off by Chelsea at the age of 14. Did Declan Rice. So I'd love Declan Rice, to come to Manchester United, because I think he's done very, very well, and he's flourishing fantastically well. He's done well under Manuel Pellegrini this season with West Ham. Talking about, Idrissa Gueye from Everton, obviously, defensive midfielder. Obviously, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now, as Idrissa Gueye. And there has been a lot of talks about him, actually, going on. It did basically say that the quoted fee is around £35 million, that Everton, would demand for Idrissa Gueye. Looking at it, ultimately, Everton don't want to let him go. But I think Everton have come to accept the fact that Idrissa Gueye, is intending on leaving the club. But reportedly, Everton are demanding probably just over 5 times more than what they initially paid for him from Aston Villa. But Idrissa Gueye, would it be the right solution for Manchester United? And to be fair, you can't argue with his stats. His stats are very, very impressive. He's one of the most successful tacklers in the Premier League. He has completed the most tackles across Europe, as Idrissa Gueye. Highly experienced, 29 years of age. He is a Senegal international. Obviously got 3 years left on his contract with Everton, of course. Obviously, he's been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation. PSG, inquired about his services, back in the January transfer window. And obviously, PSG, I think, had a couple of bids, was it? Turned down for him in January, because I think Everton were demanding the one around £40 million for Idrissa Gueye, back in the January transfer window. But he is a defensive midfielder, of course, and I think he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. And comparing Idrissa Gueye and Ander Herrera, of course, you can say Ander Herrera's had better the career. Obviously, Ander Herrera and Idrissa Gueye, of course, are both the same age. But yeah, Manchester United, of course, have inquired about his services. He's a former Villa player. He only spent 1 season with Villa. I think when he was a lot younger, he played for Lille. So he had a lot of experience playing in France, when he was younger, Idrissa Gueye. Obviously, I think he's made about 99 appearances in the Premier League, for Everton. Obviously, the majority of his appearances have come at Everton. Because I think when he had his 1 season with Aston Villa, I think he made about 34, or was it 35 appearances, Idrissa Gueye. But I do really, really like him a lot. So he's basically been on Manchester United's agenda. So there's quite a few defensive midfielders, that Manchester United have obviously, been interested in. Obviously, as well, Joe Felix, from Benfica. Now, Manchester United, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now, as Joe Felix. He's not a defensive midfielder. I think he's actually, primarily an attacking midfielder, as Joe Felix, but he can play as a winner, he can play as a striker, he can play as a second striker, so he's very, very versatile, Joe Felix, but I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder. I think, according to reports, Benfica are only willing to sell him if any team is willing to meet his £105 million buyout clause. Now, it did initially say that Manchester United, we have stepped our interest up in the player, of course. It did say Manchester United are prepared to trigger his £105 million buyout clause he's got in his contract with Benfica. I think from Joe Felix's perspective, he's aware of the speculation. Of course, he's aware that a number of clubs are interested in him. But I think Joe Felix is still, I think he's unsure at the moment. I think he's still unsure about his future. He hasn't really clarified his future yet, Joe Felix. But he did say Man United willing to trigger his £105 million buyout clause. Also, City have been in for him. Also, Liverpool inquired about getting him in January. Obviously, Real Madrid have expressed their interest in Joe Felix. But this has only been his first season in the senior squad with Benfica, and I think he's done really, really well. And I don't think he's yet made his senior debut with Portugal. But Joe Felix, he's only 19 years of age. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him, and I do believe, like I said, he can emulate into one of the best players in the world without a shadow of a doubt. Can Joe Felix? So, would you like him to come to Manchester United? I'd love him at Manchester United. But Man United have obviously been scouting Joe Felix now for a very, very long time, and I think the rumours have actually continued to persist since January. So I definitely love Joe Felix at Manchester United. I'd also love Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United. I think he's very, very good. Is Bruno Fernandes. I haven't heard much about it recently. He has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. It came out a couple of weeks ago that the quoted fee was around £60 million. That Sporting Lisbon are demanding for Bruno Fernandes. So obviously they're initially not demanding for his release clause to be triggered, because his initial release clause is around 85 or £86 million. Bruno Fernandes' release clause in his contract. He's only 24 years of age, so he has got a lot of years ahead of him, Bruno Fernandes. I do believe, he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. I do believe if he came to the Premier League, it would take his career to the next level. Obviously, Manchester United and Manchester City, of course, have inquired about his services. But Bruno Fernandes is primarily an attacking midfielder. So I do believe he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is under contract. He's under contract until 2023 with Sporting Lisbon, but he's been fantastic in his couple of seasons in Portugal. Obviously had a lot of experience of playing in Spain, in Italy, when he was younger, with San Pandora and Underneath and all that. And I'd love us to get, both of them, Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix, but I don't see, Manchester United currently getting both of them. But as you all know, Bruno Fernandes is on Manchester United's agenda. Talking about Paul Pogba, as you all know, he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. I think his likely destination, will be Real Madrid this summer. So, would you like Paul Pogba to stay? Would you like Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United? I think his move's very, very imminent now to Real Madrid, because I think Real Madrid are going to end up getting Paul Pogba, of course. And like I said, really Paul Pogba hasn't really he hasn't, been a fundamental player. He hasn't exceeded expectation levels as we thought he would have done, Paul Pogba, regarding what he did in his 4 years with Juventus, of course, because he did have 4 good years in Turin. But now the recent reports do say that Juventus have inquired about his services again. They've been linked to him in the past. I think Juventus were linked to him last year. Also Barcelona were linked to him last year, based on Paul Pogba's poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Now, I think it did say, Juventus, have offered, 2 of their players, as part of the Paul Pogba swap deal. Juventus are willing to offer Manchester United Paul Dybala and Alexandro to lure Paul Pogba away from Old Trafford. And it didn't literally say that, Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to fund the move for Pogba, because without any players involved, Juventus probably, looking at it from a financial point of view, wouldn't even be able to afford Paul Pogba, outright, of course. But potentially, talking about Dybala, from Juventus now, obviously he has been linked with a move to Manchester United anyway, as Paul Dybala. Reports have actually, suggested out about Paulo Dybala, saying that, Juventus, Manchester United have been in talks with Juventus for now. Juventus now for over a month. Is it something like that for Paulo Dybala? It did recently say that Paul Dybala's agent and his brother came out saying that they have suggested out that Paul Dybala wants to leave Juventus this summer. But yeah, reportedly Manchester United have been in talks now for over a month over Paulo Dybala. Like I said, he's 25. Don't get me wrong, I've got strong reservations about him when it comes to his defensive abilities. When it comes to some of his touches, I've got strong reservations about Paul Dybala. And he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time this season with Juventus as Paul Dybala, based Obviously, with Ronaldo, since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo last summer, Paul Dybala has found game time very, very difficult this season. So he has obviously, become a surplus to requirements as Dybala. But I wouldn't be too sure if he would be the right solution for Manchester United. He has been at Juventus 4 seasons. He's won 4 Serie A's. He has won 3 Coppa Italians. And reportedly, this is one of the players Juventus are willing to offer to lure Paul Pogba away from Manchester United. And obviously, the other one is Alexandra that Juventus are willing to offer. Don't really know much about Alexandra, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Alexandra, I think in the past has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. I think a couple of years ago, Chelsea were interested in him. I think Manchester United, of course, have been linked with Alexandra in the past. So reportedly, it is Alexandra and Dybala Juventus are willing to offer to lure Paul Pogba away from Manchester United. But I wouldn't see Manchester United going along with this, because potentially looking at Manchester United, don't want to sell Paul Pogba. We don't want to sell Paul Pogba. But potentially, if we've got no choice to sell Paul Pogba, I think it did say initially we want around 150 or 160 million pounds there for Paul Pogba. Obviously, this is a figure that Real Madrid, of course, are not willing to meet. Reports came out, was it about 2-3 weeks ago, saying that the talks between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid had currently stalled, based on Paul Pogba's €13 million wage demands. And obviously his wage demands did not fit in the wage structure of Real Madrid. But potentially, Zinedine Zidane is emphasising his targets for this summer. But obviously, his two main priority targets, so obviously, Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard, of course. And it did come out, was it about 4 or 5 days ago, saying that Manchester United were willing to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband in a bid, to convince him to stay at Manchester United. But like I said, this wouldn't be enough, to convince Paul Pogba to stay at the club. And now, only now, we are willing to offer Paul Pogba the vice-captaincy role, because obviously the captaincy next season will be given to Ashley Young, as that's obviously being blatantly made clear, because obviously we do know that Antonio Valencia is leaving. Obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Antonio Valencia at Manchester United, of course. So Paul Pogba's still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. I think Man United have been in negotiations of trying to get him a new contract. Obviously, Paul Pogba's agent Raiola has been in the process for ages now of trying to get him a new club, of course. But as I did say, Paul Pogba, he's 26 years of age, he's in his prime, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and, we haven't really seen the best of Paul Pogba. I think we mainly saw the best of him, during that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager, and Paul Pogba was playing to his potential best mainly as well, when Ander Herrera was currently playing, so that just emphasises how much of an impact, Ander Herrera made in that midfield, because obviously, he freed up Paul Pogba, Pogba was expressing himself, Pogba was scoring goals, Pogba was providing, and so I do believe his move to Real Madrid is very imminent, of course. I just believe that Paul Pogba, of course, has got to put this transfer request in, so I do believe he's definitely going. But Paul Pogba, was talking a lot about Real Madrid. Was it about a month or so ago now? He did pinpoint out at some point in his career that he's destined, to go and play for Real Madrid. And maybe one of the main factor reason why he wants to leave, maybe he wants to be challenging up there, wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be winning trophies, and obviously this is something that Manchester United cannot offer Paul Pogba. So I do believe he's on his way out the club. So now I did say we need 3 new additions in that midfield, but I think we could still get around 120 or 130 million for Pogba. I don't think we'll get 160 for him, but we could get around 120 or 130 million pounds for him, of course. And like I did say, we're going to need a replacement for Ander Herrera. Now, potentially, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Matthias de Ligt from Ajax, of course, because he's a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda. Now, Matthias de Ligt has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, as you all know. Obviously, I think his future is still uncertain at the moment. Matthias de Ligt, I don't think he knows what he wants to currently do. Nothing has been decided yet, so it still remains uncertain where Matthias de Ligt, will be applying his trade next season. So basically, we know there's been quite a lot of teams that have inquired about his services. I update you about Matthias de Ligt on a regular basis, but we do know Barcelona have inquired about his services. We know Manchester United have inquired about his services. Liverpool have inquired about his services, and also Manchester City have inquired about his services, because obviously Manchester City are in the market looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. Now, it did report out yesterday saying that Manchester United had reportedly ruled out a move for Matthias de Ligt, and it did say we had withdrawn our interest in Matthias de Ligt, and this was coming from quite a few media outlets. I think also Sky Sports reported on it. I think it did say that the Manchester United Hirisi, do believe that he's set to join Barcelona, Matty De Ligt. Because we do know, I still say Barcelona are monster favourites, and we do know anyway, at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy to get a deal over the line for Matty De Ligt. But potentially, Manchester United have reportedly, come up with an improved contract offer, for Matthias De Ligt. And he did initially say Manchester United have offered him up to around £350,000 a week. And obviously, if this was to actually, process and, finalise, this would make him one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. And of course, as well, this would make him the highest paid teenager in world football, of course. So maybe from Matthias De Ligt's perspective, he thinks this is a contract that is currently too good to turn down, because reports were saying that Matthias De Ligt had told his agent Raiola and all that he is willing to accept Manchester United's contract offer, because reportedly this is a figure that Barcelona are not willing to meet. I think De Ligt's agent Raiola, I think, is demanding like a 20% commission, of course, but some reports are still suggesting, saying that he's transferred to Barcelona and that is a done deal, a fee, and that has been agreed, of course. But as I did currently say, Manchester United are willing to offer him up to around £350,000 a week, of course. I think in terms of transfer fees, he's going to cost you around 65 or 70 million pounds, because that's what initially, Matty De Ligt is currently rated at. But it did say Manchester United put a bid in for him of around 70 million pounds. You do know a couple of days ago, the headlines broke out, when it did say Manchester United were very close to signing Matty De Ligt, and this was actually, stemming from the very reliable Spanish journalist, who is obviously, Gerard Romero, and he was the one who suggested, saying that Manchester United are very close to signing Matty De Ligt. He didn't say how it had been finalised, or it didn't say how it had been agreed. It just said Manchester United were very close to currently signing him. But now reportedly Manchester United have opted out of the race. I still believe we are in there for Matty De Ligt, but I do really like him a lot, and I think if he came to the Premier League, it would take his career to the next level. He has been an Ajax player, since the age of 9, as Matty De Ligt, progressed up the ranks fantastically well, made his senior debut at just the age of 16, has had 3 years worth of experience now in Ajax's senior squad, as Matty De Ligt, but he has become an integral part of their team. But like I said, it's definitely likely he's going to be leaving Ajax. Of course, as Edwin van der Sar, confirmed this quite a few weeks back, but he has not yet made a decision on his future. But like I said, he can leave Ajax, with his head held up high, winning the domestic double with them this season. For the first time in 17 years, of course, including the Eredivisie title, also progressing his team to the Champions League semi-final. So I'd love him to come to Manchester United, Matty De Ligt. I think he'd be a great leader in our backline, and he'd blend in very, very well alongside Victor Lindelof, of course. And he's only 19 years of age, and he's got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him as Matty De Ligt. But yeah, I do really, really like him a lot, but at the moment his future, of course, is still up in the air. And talking about Napoli's Koulibaly, as you all know, as they have been giving you an update on a regular basis about Koulibaly. Obviously, the rumours do continue to position linking Koulibaly with a move to Manchester United. Now, obviously, the process started last summer under Jose Mourinho, of course. But obviously, we didn't get his number 1 targets last summer anyway, because the board weren't back in the signs that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. But we do know the rumours of... But we do know the rumours have continued to persist since last summer, linking Koulibaly with a move to Manchester United. But now, potentially, Manchester United are set to miss out on Koulibaly, because now, reportedly, Napoli are demanding Napoli are demanding an absolute astronomical fee for him. They're demanding, Napoli that they want around, 150 million pounds for him. So basically, that's just been blatantly made clear that Napoli, of course, don't want to sell Koulibaly. So reportedly now, they're demanding that they want an astonishing amount of around 150 million pounds for him. And obviously, Man United are not willing to pay up to that extortionate amount for him. I don't think anybody, would pay up to 150 million pounds for Koulibaly. But obviously, initially, we did identify, Koulibaly as our number 1 target. Obviously, initially, Jadon Sancho was the club's number 1 target, as you all currently know. But obviously, we were set to miss out on Jadon Sancho this summer. Obviously, the main factor reason why is because obviously we failed to get in a Champions League football for next season. And I think, Borussia Dortmund CEO has confirmed he's ruled out, Jadon Sancho making a move. Jadon Sancho himself has suggested out that he's intending on spending at least another season with Borussia Dortmund. We don't know about his long-term future and all that, but I think he's intending on spending at least another season with Borussia Dortmund. So he was the club's #1 priority target for a very, very long time. Then we identified Koulibaly as our #1 target. It was blatantly made clear that we would have to break the world transfer record to get a deal over the line for him. Obviously, last year, Manchester United had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly. Obviously, reports came out from Italy last week saying that we had around a £95 million bid turned down for Koulibaly. And obviously, the vast majority of Manchester United fans would like to see him come in. Of course, don't get me wrong, we've got the financial power to meet his valuation, but Manchester United would not be willing to pay up to the £150 million for Koulibaly. I think also Real Madrid had a bid turned down for him. I think Real Madrid had around the £90 million bid turned down for him on Friday, because obviously, Real Madrid have also inquired about Koulibaly's services. But for me, I think he's set to stay at Napoli. He's Koulibaly. He is set to stay at Napoli, his Koulibaly, so looking likely we've missed out on him, of course. So now, reportedly, we have turned our attentions more on Benfica's Ruben Diaz now. There has been a lot of talks going on about Ruben Diaz from Benfica, of course. Looking at it, he will cost us... He will cost us a lot less, than Koulibaly. So looking at it from a financial point of view, he would be a much cheaper alternative, Ruben Diaz, and he will substantially, cost less, like I've just said, than Koulibaly, of course. I think Benfica are willing to let Ruben Diaz go if a bid in the excess of around £60 million, does come in for him. So if Man United are willing to pay £60 million for Ruben Diaz, Benfica, may consider, letting him go, of course. Ruben Diaz, I think, has spent the majority of his career with Benfica. I think he's about 6'1", he's Ruben Diaz, so he is tall. I think he's got a contract with Benfica until 2023. I think quite a few times in the past we've inquired about Ruben Diaz's services, but looking at it, he will substantially, cost us less, than Koulibaly, would Ruben Diaz. But like I said, 22 years of age. He's actually 6 years younger than Koulibaly, so he's got a hell of a lot more development in him than Koulibaly as Ruben Diaz. So I think now Manchester United, we are turning our attentions on Ruben Diaz from Benfica, but don't really know much about the player. Obviously, other central defenders that have been mentioned. Obviously, Harry Maguire from Leicester's been mentioned. Obviously, Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld, of course, has been mentioned. So there's a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda, as you all know. But potentially, the players who I do expect to leave Manchester United, of course, Diamond and Rojo, I said, we can get around £30 million, for Matteo Diamond and Rojo. Smalling and Jones, like I said, they shouldn't be here next season, but they are going to be here next season. It was bad business for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones a new long-term contract. Jones has been here 8 years, Smalling's been here 9 years. Comparing them, I think Smalling's a better defender than Phil Jones, but like I said, I don't think they should be here next season. Talking about Eric Bailly, I think his future is in serious doubt, especially if new central defender is to get recommended to come in. Talking about Eric Bailly, I think, he burst into the scenes well when he first came into the Premier League, but I think with his fallout under managers, with his injuries he has sustained, I think it's really had a bad effect on his Manchester United career. I think we will be looking to recruit the initial £30 million we did pay for him from Villarreal, if we are willing to do any business with Eric Bailly. But yeah, I think he did well in his first season and a half, with Manchester United, and then he basically fell down the pecking order. And initially now anyway, he has lost his players in the team as Eric Bailly. So I think we can also cash in for him. Talking about Ashley Young, it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving him that new 1 year extension, of course. Again, he's been a long-serving player at the club. He's been here 8 years as Ashley Young. Reflected back when he was younger, he was a really, really good winner, was Ashley Young. But as I did say, he's past his sell-by date now. How old is he now? 33, nearly 34. By the time this 1 year extension expires, Ashley Young, will be nearly 35 years of age. So he's definitely, past his sell-by date. Talking about Valencia, we know Valencia is definitely going, obviously. So we're going to need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. We've showed an interest in quite a few right backs, and how much I like Wan-Bissaka a lot. Manchester United have inquired by his services. Obviously, he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. City and Tottenham have expressed their interest in Wan-Bissaka. It did say, was it about 4 or 5 days ago, that Manchester United submitted a bid of around £25 million for him. Obviously, this figure wouldn't be enough, to convince, Crystal Palace to let him go, because I think the quoted fee is around 50-60 million pounds, you know, that Crystal Palace, you know, would want for Wan-Bissaka, of course. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's been in the senior squad with Crystal Palace now for around, 14 or 15 months. But he is predominantly a right-back, and I think he's regarded as one of the best right-backs in the Premier League, as you all know. Still got 3 years left on his contract, only 21 years of age. So obviously, you know, he's been linked with Manchester United as Wan-Bissaka. But I do really like him a lot. I think he'd be a good replacement for Valencia. I think he'd be a good upgrade to Ash Young, you know, and Wan-Bissaka. So there's also, you know, been talks about him going on. Also, talking with you about De Gea, I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United. As I said, it's David De Gea, of course. Obviously, he's been one of the long-serving players here. Of course, you know, he's been here 8 years. Obviously, Manchester United have failed to get him a new contract because we've been in negotiations of getting him a contract now for at least a year and a half. I think it did say that Hayes demanding around £350,000 a week for Manchester United. Of course, Manchester United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, and obviously this is a figure that PSG, of course, are willing to meet. PSG report they're prepared to put a bid in for him of around £60 million. Obviously, he's only got a year left in his contract, and we do know at full value for the goalkeeper he's worth around £100 million is De Gea, but potentially he's only got a year left on his deal, so we're not going to get £100 million for him. But we've got to cash in for him this summer because it would be a calamity, you know, if we let him go on a free transfer next year. Obviously, as well, you know, Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea. Obviously, David De Gea has won everything here domestically. You know, he's made over 300 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions. But I don't think we're intending on buying a goalkeeper to replace him. I don't think this is in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. I think basically he wants to, you know, promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper, you know, when basically, you know, De Gea leaves, you know, which is looking very, very likely. I don't know if Romero is reliable enough as yet, you know, to become our number one goalkeeper. We've got Dean Henderson, but I think Dean Henderson needs a bit more experience. Of course, he's a bit inexperienced at the moment. He has been on loan with Sheffield United. So yeah, we're probably, so according to Solskjaer, so we're not willing to buy goalkeeping, of course, to replace De Gea. Juan Mata, of course, like I said earlier on before, you know, I think he's going to be leaving, definitely, you know, is Juan Mata. Obviously, the club have failed to agree a contract extension, you know, for Juan Mata. Lukaku probably going to be leaving him as well, already giving you the latest news about what's going on with Romelu Lukaku. And I do believe as well that Alexis Sanchez, you know, is going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we can't get rid of him permanently, you know, based on his substantial wages. Obviously, we'd love to get rid of him permanently, but we can't get rid of him permanently because no team can afford to pay his wages. Obviously, he's on 400 grand a week, rising up to around 500 grand a week, something like that, you know, based on image rights, you know, based on bonuses and all that. It rises up to around £500,000 a week. So I think we're willing to let him go on a long-season loan. Obviously, Juventus and Milan have been linked to him. I think, yeah, and we're willing to let him go on a long-season loan. And I think Manchester United, of course, are willing to pay half of his wages. Of course, he has been very inconsistent for Manchester United. Manchester United, of course, he's one of the problematic players. Is Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, that's really everything to update you with today, guys, in this current video. So what signings, you know, would you like to come to Manchester United this summer? Obviously, we do know Daniel James's move is very imminent to Manchester United, and obviously looking very likely he's going to be our first signing, of course. And obviously now we need to build on that and, you know, get at least another 4 players in. But what signings would you like at Manchester United? I've gone, you know, through the players, you know, who Manchester United, of course, are linked with, of course, who, you know, who we've inquired about. But just let me know in your current comments below. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.